In professional football, a team's style of play comes from its coach. And few men have been more successful or produced more precise, exciting teams than George Allen. Considered to be one of the most learned men in pro football, he has consistently been connected with championship teams. He's known as a shrewd trader, a molder of tough defenses and explosive offenses. His knowledge of the game is evident in the 6 football books he's authored. His skill as a coach is evident in the solid, well-balanced winners he has built. But as George Allen will tell you, moments of success and jubilation don't just happen. They are earned through practice and by learning to do things the proper way. And no man is better qualified to teach these fundamentals than Coach George Allen. The practice field is where correct receiving techniques are learned and become habit. For the over-the-shoulder catch, the arms are extended, fingers spread and relaxed, with the thumbs out to form a basket in which to cushion the ball. Still, the most important part of any catch is concentration on the ball. Even though the receiver may have the techniques mastered, if he takes his eye off the ball or stops concentrating, he will fail. The eyes must follow the flight of the ball all the way into the hands and then pop down as the ball is securely tucked away. The over-the-shoulder catch is usually made in full stride in the deep zones, and often the ability to stretch the entire body at the last second makes the difference. Remember, head and eyes mirror the ball's flight. Hands spread and relaxed, thumbs out. Ball brought under control, tucked away as soon as possible, and then turn up field. When catching any pass above the waist, the thumbs are turned inward and the hands give with the ball. Even on a seemingly simple catch like this, the receiver must have control of the ball before he runs with it. The catch is of primary importance. Concentrate totally on the ball first. If everything is done correctly, catching the ball, tucking it away, and turning upfield should occur in one smooth, continuous motion. After you've looked the ball into your hands, then worry about finding the end zone. On the high pass, it is important to stretch the body to the fullest extent possible and then quickly snap the ball down to safety. However, the snap should not come before control is gained. This pass is easily jarred loose, so protect the ball immediately by dropping your shoulder over it. On a high pass, the thumbs are nearly touching to strengthen the hands. It is important to bring the body up as high as possible to meet the ball. In this example, notice how fully the receiver has extended. The high pass calls for strong, sure fingers because the hands and arms cannot give as much and the body is not available for a backup. Notice the abrupt movement with which the ball is tucked away. For a ball below the waist, the thumbs are turned out, forming a basket, and the ball is cradled into the body. The receiver should not rely too heavily upon the cradle of the body, however. The receiver should flex his knees and bend from the waist on a low pass. This will create an excellent protective surface while providing a balanced base to allow the receiver to remain under control and turn upfield. Notice the basket formed by the hands and lowered body. After those techniques are mastered, the receiver can go down after the ball without breaking stride. When a pass comes to a receiver only inches off the ground, the scoop technique is used. The receiver should not try to bend all the way down at the waist. The entire body must be lowered as far as possible to get underneath the ball and scoop it off the grass into the protection of the body. The body then completely surrounds the ball for even greater protection. By going down to meet the ball, a receiver can make the catch against his body almost as though he were standing. When a ball is overthrown, the receiver should use the lead hand as a backboard and tip the ball down into the open hand. Any ball is difficult to control with only one hand. But by extending the lead hand and tipping the ball, the receiver allows himself time to bring his body into position for the catch. Again, the eye should follow the ball all the way. In this case, one hand can be extended further than two, and although the receiver can barely touch the ball, by tipping it, he has time to bring it under control and tuck it away. Two hands are usually better than one, but a good receiver knows how to turn an overthrown pass into a touchdown. When a ball is thrown behind a receiver, he should make a pivot against the grain and come back for the ball. Never try to reach back with the hands without turning the body. The whole body pivots back in the direction that the ball is thrown before the receiver starts upfield. By practicing the action of turning back for the ball, a receiver can remain under balance despite a complete change of direction. A great effort and fine catch can be wasted by failure to heed the sidelines and inlines. The receiver learns to bring the feet together inbounds in coordination with the catch. This should be practiced until it becomes second nature. This pass is actually caught out of bounds, but the feet are kept in, making it legal. Another technique is the toe drag. This may occur when the receiver is off balance and unable to bring his feet together. The trailing leg spells the difference. When a receiver needs to jump for a ball near the sidelines, he must bring his feet together inbounds. He will have to position his feet in the air so they will touch simultaneously when he comes down. Notice how the feet are in perfect position even though the receiver is still in midair. The little things like tapping inbounds will win games for a receiver who is willing to put out that extra effort on the practice field. There may be some cases in which the ball will be thrown directly over the head of the receiver. He must bend his body back to keep the ball in sight. Unless the head and body are tilted back, the flight of the ball directly over the head is difficult to follow. The thumb should be pointed out and the elbows bent to form a basket. The ball is actually caught with both hands and the forearms. At times, the head and body must twist far back to keep the ball in sight. This pass will be high, and it should drop right into the basket which the receiver has provided. Sometimes he will be forced to switch shoulders completely. This means taking his eye off the ball for a fraction of a second and takes a great deal of practice. Practice is the key for any receiver. The spectacular catch he makes on Sunday is the direct result of painstaking attention to detail during the week. A receiver should go through a bad pass drill each day. It all goes toward that game recognition, which may mean a first down or even a victory. For every catch in a game, there are thousands caught in practice to set it up. Technique is vital, but so is attitude. A receiver must want every pass very badly. He must disregard all pressure, obstacles, and pain to complete his one objective: catch the football no matter where it is thrown or what is happening to you. The complete receiver has confidence that he can catch any ball that he can touch. All it takes is practice. The stance is where every pattern starts. When using the upright stance, the body must be held straight. Leaning can lead to offside penalties. The feet should be staggered slightly. The right foot drops in a jab step to propel the receiver off the line. Most teams prefer the three-point stance. With it, the receiver is in a better position to block, and his start is much quicker. The weight is distributed evenly over 3 points to eliminate sway. He should look toward the ball to watch the snap if he is unable to hear the count. The receiver should come off the line with a good explosion, much like a sprinter springing out of the blocks, coordinating leg drive and arm action. It is this burst which carries him into the defensive secondary to begin his pattern. He must come hard, but he must be under control when he reaches the move area. He must be under control for the complete pattern and find the open seam in the defense. Every move must be studied beforehand, because one wrong step can spell the difference between failure and success. The hitch pattern calls for only 3 steps off the line. The takeoff should be the same as any other pattern to drive the defender back. But then after 2 steps, the receiver settles with a wide base to allow movement in either direction. He should get to the outside as quickly as possible to stay away from inside pursuit. The slant pattern is a quick 3-yard pattern to the inside. On this pass, the receiver will find himself in heavy traffic, so it's imperative that he tuck the ball in immediately and protect it with his body. The slant is very effective when used against tight coverage near the goal line. A quick outside move will open up the slant area. The fast goal pattern is run at about 6 yards with the same sharp break to the inside. This pattern is deep enough to clear the linebackers, yet still underneath the defensive backs, forcing them to come up to cover. The deepest of the inside patterns is the post. It is run at 10 to 12 yards with a head and shoulder fake to the outside before the angled break to the goal post. In this example, the back is dropping to the post area, so the receiver makes an outside move to turn him. He gets open, but the timing is poor, and this allows the safety man to almost break up the pass. If the post pattern is run correctly and the timing is on, it very often results in a touchdown. On the curl or strike pattern, the receiver must do his best to drive the defender back as far as possible, so a hole is created for him to settle in. He should be under control so that the turn is made as quickly as possible. The feet should be spread to give him balance to move for any off-target throws and then to turn upfield. In this example, the receiver appears to be going full speed, yet he is under control enough to stop and set up within 3 yards. Because the receiver accepts the curl with its back to the defender, he must catch the ball with his body. One way to run a curl is to release with a burst, then glide, then drive on the defender to turn him, then settle with balance, catch the ball, put it away, and turn upfield. The threat of a deep pass is the best fake a receiver has, because if he can cause the defender to turn, he has him whipped. A very effective pass is the short out. At 5 yards, a sharp 45-degree cut is made to the outside. The receiver should actually be coming back toward the line of scrimmage at the catch to stay away from the defender as long as possible. On a quick pass like this, the receiver's head should snap around on the break to locate the ball, which may already be in the air. The short out can be used to pull up a defense which is laying back waiting for the long passes. This will keep them honest and make the long passes easier to run later. The success of the short out is based on timing between quarterback and receiver. And if the timing is perfect, the pass is almost impossible to stop. The medium out is run at 10 to 12 yards. A fake to the center of the field will set up the break to the sideline. When making the sideline catch, remember both feet must touch inbounds to make the catch legal. The out should consist of a 45-degree break off the inside foot with the receiver again coming back toward the line of scrimmage slightly to avoid the defense. On this pass, timing again is critical. In the example, notice that the ball is in the air before the receiver is turned, and also his awareness of the sidelines by tapping his feet to make the catch legal. The out pattern can be set up by looking to the inside. It can be run off the slant. It can also be run with pure speed to drive and turn the defender. No matter what method the receiver chooses, the success of an out or any other pattern depends on getting to the ball and making the catch. The receiver has to want that ball. The out and up pattern consists of an abbreviated 5-yard out and a sudden break deep. This is used after the defender has been burned several times to the outside and he is reacting up very quickly. Field position is important in deciding whether or not to run this pattern. In this example, the receiver makes an excellent move, yet runs out of the playing area. On a straight burst up the field, or streak, the receiver should maneuver his body in accordance with the flight of the ball in order to make the catch in full stride. The receiver should wait until the ball is almost to him before extending his arms for the catch. The arms should be left free for normal running action. On the streak, the receiver simply blows full speed upfield. The quarterback should loft the ball so that the receiver can use his speed to run under it. Because speed is so essential on this pattern, the receiver's arm action should be normal until the ball drops into his hands. In this example, notice how the receiver adjusts his pattern in relationship to the flight of the ball. A better way to run the long pattern is called a lazy up. The receiver slows down, straightens up and bends to the outside, then turns on the speed down the sideline. This action lures the defender into relaxing and gives the receiver excellent outside positioning for the lofted bomb. The receiver comes off the line normally, then glides and straightens up, drifts to the outside, then breaks past the defender who has been sucked up and now is beaten. If you want to be a receiver, you should have confidence in each pattern you run. You gain confidence by running it so many times in practice that you know you can run it successfully in a game. You must run intelligent routes based on the defender and the defenses you are facing. This intelligence stems from long hours in team meetings and on the practice field. With the right patterns, you can find an open spot in the most crowded secondary. With the right pattern, you can defeat a whole group of defenders. Whether you get open by 10 yards or by half a step, you should have confidence that you can get behind any defensive back. Confidence to catch any pass thrown. Intelligence and confidence. They start before, during, and after practice.